Well, the security cluster is on high alert about the situation in KwaZulu-Natal. This after the High Court's decision that former President Jacob Zuma should return to prison. Yesterday, Zuma supporters said they would be meeting to discuss the way forward. Our senior reporter Siphamandla Goge caught up with Premier Sihle Zikalala. He's also the ANC chairperson in that province. So, Sipa, what is Sihle Zikalala saying about supporting Jacob Zuma at this point?
That the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal and the ANC nationally needs to continue supporting its former leader, Sihle Zikalala, saying the ANC in the province will be engaging with the national leadership in persuading them that they should support the former president who continues to face legal challenges. Remember that the North Gauteng High Court has ruled that he should go back to prison, that medical parole that was granted by former National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Arthur Fraser, was unlawful. The former president is appealing that. He has said that he will issue a notice to appeal that. The Department of Correctional Services is also appealing that. The ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, including Provincial Secretary Dumiseni Ntuli, support that decision together with Sihle Zikalala, who is the chairperson of the ANC in the province, because there were calls that the ANC leadership in KwaZulu-Natal needs to be seen to be saying and doing something, because they've been accused of quote-unquote neglecting or dumping the former president, something that the leadership of the ANC in KZN denies as we speak. But this is what Sihle Zikalala had to say.
We note the judgment as it is. We believe that it is correct for Department of Correctional Services to appeal this judgment. And maybe the ANC should find also a way to engage on the matter and express itself, because at his age, former President Zuma, you will notice, is quite advanced, in advanced ages, but also his health, it's known that it's not in a good health condition. Now, the judgment has serious potential of fueling the tensions that we've been trying to calm down. And that's why we will be engaging with the national leadership of the ANC on the matter.
So, Sipa, following that judgment on Zuma's parole matter, there are, of course, some concerns about security in KwaZulu-Natal. What's the word on that?
Well, indeed, there are serious concerns, even though Sihle Zikalala appears not to be downplaying it, but saying, well, this time around they are on high alert. They do not want to be caught napping as per what happened in July following the July unrest. You remember that Sihle Zikalala is on record telling an inquiry that was looking into the July unrest that, well, the provincial leadership was not aware in terms of any intelligence information about what was going to happen. They relied on media reports and social media. This time around, Sihle Zikalala saying following that judgment, they are on high alert. They would want to ensure that security forces in the province are on high alert. They don't want a repeat of what happened in July. Also, former President Jacob Zuma remains a political player in KwaZulu-Natal, in a sense that in its analysis, the ANC somehow, even though they do concede that they lost electoral support during the local government elections, mainly because of poor service delivery, corruption, but there is also the Jacob Zuma factor following his incarceration and other factors. So they are worried about what will happen should this continue to happen to the former president. But let's take a listen to Sihle Zikalala.
We are not worried per se about violence, but we are alert. We don't want to be taken by surprise. We are alert. We will continue to ensure that we remain vigilant, and structures that the security cluster should always be alert and be on standby to deal with anything.
Sipa, of course, it is Reconciliation Day. There was an official commemoration in KwaZulu-Natal, not the national one, of course. Tell us what was said with that.
Well, basically, there were calls that were made for reconciliation as a project to continue, but in KwaZulu-Natal, divisions were glaring. We attended an official commemoration event that was organized by the provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal in eNCA, that's between Dandi and Enutu. Now, that is where on December 16, 1838, the Battle of the Blood River took place, the Battle of eNCA took place. At the center of that, or the gist of that battle, was about the issue of land dispossession. That was a battle between AmaZulu under King Dingane at the time and those who were part of the Great Voortrekker group that had been trying to establish a republic in Natalia. So the Battle of eNcome is one of the significant events in the history and the calendar of the Zulu nation. The day used to be known as King Dingane Day, but after 1994, of course, it was converted into a reconciliation day. But what we saw today was that there was one group of white people who were having their own celebration meters away from where the main event organized by the provincial government was taking place. Now, in eNcome, those who are not familiar with the area, there is a river that separates two sites where that battle took place. Now, on the other side, Afrikaners were having their own celebrations. On the other side, AmaZulu were having their own celebration. The bridge that leads to both museums was locked on the other side. And interestingly, both museums have got a history and information about that battle, which is totally different. But today, we saw glaring divisions and how low race relations are in KwaZulu-Natal in terms of that. It's something that Siphamandla says they will be addressing. Let's take a listen.
The reality is that there is reconciliation. Majority of South Africans want to live together, black and white. But there are sections in our society that are stereotyped, who do not want cooperation, do not want coexistence.
What are you going to do about it? We are going
to address this matter. We will be engaging with them, their organization, to see how do we align the events so that we commemorate together. We will also alert the National Department and engage with them, because that structure also that is across this area, it's a structure that belongs to government, and therefore we must take all of those issues serious.
All right, our senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is in Ulundi.